What's going on, guys? Coach Bronson here. In this video, I'm going to talk with Kevin Gibbs, who is on Instagram as Kevin the Visionary. He's actually doing a really cool thing. He's transitioning from being plant-based to being animal-based, and we're going to talk about that journey. He's just getting started. He's only a couple months in. Let's talk to him, find out why he's doing it, how he's doing it, and what are some of the changes and benefits he's getting out of being animal-based. Awesome. No, Kevin, thanks for being on, man. I appreciate it. Kevin, the Visionary. So tell me about your Instagram and how you got started with this Instagram. Because you were a vegan or vegetarian before?
Vegan.
Vegan before. So was that really what the focus of what your Instagram was about, or what's the visionary aspect of what your name there?
Yeah. So, I did start off the Instagram strictly 100% for, talking about plant-based, teaching about plant-based, and, my journey in plant-based and what I was learning with, cutting the health benefits of what I went through with the plant-based diet. And, I was chucking along fine until the carnivore showed up.
So what got you started? Like, what were the health issues that you were trying to fix with being plant-based?
Yeah, so I had a number of health issues. I had arthritis in my shoulder,
Yeah.
my lower back pain, dizziness. I had some blood issues. I believe it's my white blood count was very low. My lymphatic system was haywire. I had erectile dysfunction problems, blood in my urine, just a number.
Yeah, bunch of different things. Okay. And you went to being more plant-based to try to fix most of those issues.
Correct, because I went to the doctors and they gave me no answers. They told me, I have nothing to worry about. They told me I'm young, so it's just a phase. I mean,
it'll just go away somehow magically, right?
Yeah. They even took, I took a CT scan of me. They took the camera. They went inside of me. I mean, and gave me no explanation as to why I'm bleeding. Just blood in my kidneys and my urine, and just yeah. And so a friend of mine suggested that I take a look at this guy online who talks about herbs and plant-based and stuff, and that's kind of it happened. But actually, this was my second time being vegan. I was vegan before.
Okay.
2 years and some change. I started in either 2014 or 15 after watching the documentary, and I went cold turkey, for
like overnight. Okay.
One video, man, that was it.
Which is kind of crazy now how before you made that change based off of one video, but now I feel like from what I've been seeing on your Instagram, you're taking a lot longer to actually do more research and do a lot more reading and try to understand what it's all about before you just say all in, this is what I'm going to do, right? What's that process been like? How is it different this time, making the switch from being more plant-based to being more animal-based than it was earlier on in your life? What's changed?
The level of information. And so before, like I said, I watched the documentary, and of course, I'm learning about bias, right? There's, when scientists and different people do research, there's a lot of bias where they only focus on one area and they don't look how it affects other things. And so I'm learning about that, and I'm learning, just a number of things that I never even, thought about prior. And there's so much information out there, common sense information out there that will show you that living 100% on plants is not healthy. It has long-term negative effects, and you just can't get the nutrients that you're going to get from 100% plants.
Right. And the thing that always gets me is, like you said, the common sense stuff. regardless of any study, all people have to do is look at what's happening to themselves and the people around them. Is this working for me or is this not working? And outside of religious or cultural things that, may be outside the bounds of people trying to be healthy. But if you're trying to be healthy, the way that I look at it is with anything. If you take any system and you're trying to make it more efficient and work better, if you go to five different people to come up with and ask them all for different solutions or say, I want you all to come up with a way to make this better, chances are there's going to be similarities in all of those solutions because that's just how things are. When we all try to work towards efficiency and health, we're all going to eventually, if we're looking at what's actually happening in real life, we're all eventually going to start making the same conclusions because we're all humans and our bodies work the same way. So the same things that will work for me are going to work for 99% of the other people in the world. And we all eventually should start coming around to that center, smaller circle of all doing things more similarly.
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So what is your right now? What would you say that your mission is? What are you trying to do through your Instagram and on social media?
Undo all of the shenanigans, the bad and first of all, the stuff that I put out there,
Yeah.
and then so try to show people a different avenue of information,
Right.
and so gurus and the health, people who are pushing plant-based, there's this narrow mindset, there's this narrowing of information, and it's all being regurgitated, and it's all the same narrow. There's no science behind it. There's no research behind it. When you really look into it, there's not a lot of science. There's not a lot of research. It's just a lot of information based off of one or two gurus a long time ago, and everybody just kind of regurgitating the same information. But when you understand that there's hundreds and thousands of doctors and medical professions and people who actually took the time to research and study and experiment and do these different things, and they're telling you, hey, that sounds good, but this is actually how the body works. Learning about the difference between a ruminant animal and a animal, or animals that have stomachs similar to us, or even how our stomach and digestive system is.
Yeah.
We as humans, we cannot process plants and vegetables the way these ruminant animals can. It's impossible. But we can't live, off of 100% plant based. And then the crazy is when you could do a simple Google search, and it'll tell you that fiber goes relatively undigested in the human body.
Mm-hmm.
Well, fiber is just a fancy word for plants.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know when I was writing my book, I did some research on this, and I didn't realize that I think it's like 30% of most of plants are made of, and it goes from 2% to 80% depending on the plant, but on average, it's like 30% of all plant material is cellulose. Basically, it's paper. Like it's literally something that our body, we have nothing in our system that can break that down. And that's because we don't ferment, we don't chew our cud, we don't do any of that kind of stuff, like you said, that a ruminant animal does.
Yeah, no, and I'm learning that too. And even understanding how strong the cell wall of a plant is.
Right.
It's very. That's why you could go outside today and see a piece of branch on the ground, and 2 years from now, the same branch will be there because the cell wall of plants are so strong. Our body just doesn't have the ability to break down the cell walls.
Yeah. Now, how long has this process been going for you? It's been just a couple of months that you decided to start experimenting with this.
Yeah, it's been like a month and 2 weeks.
Really? It feels like it's been longer than that. Okay, that's crazy, man. So, okay, so what got you to the point when you were plant-based to kind of say, first off, how were you introduced to carnivore or meat-based? And what made you say this is something I want to try? What was that process?
Well, I had to come to the grips in reality that I was wrong, right? Like that was the first thing when I was presented. So the story goes like this. It
Yeah.
was a Saturday night. I woke up to my Instagram notifications just going crazy. I'm like, what is happening to my phone? And so I look over and I have like 150 messages.
Wow.
I'm like, what is happening? So I'm trying to figure out, going through all the messages, trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
So I can't find the video. So in my mind, I'm thinking one of my videos must have went viral, but I can't find it. I'm like, which video is it? So Dr. Sean Baker took one of my videos, one of my older videos, and posted it on his page.
Right.
And all of his followers were coming to my page, just telling me, "Hey, dude, you're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about.
Oh no.
What is happening here?" So I'm
Yeah.
like blocking people and just talking back to them. And so finally, this one lady got my attention, and she's like, "Hey, let me send you some stuff. Can you just look at the material that I send you?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay, fine, look at it." I'm rolling my eyes. I'm like, "Okay, I'll look at it," but. And so she sent it to me, and I started looking. And I'm an intellectual guy. I like to, I analyze stuff, and so I'm reading and I'm watching the videos, and I'm like, I'm in trouble.
Wait, what a minute. Hold on a second. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, holy crap, And so I just digested it that weekend, and going into the week, I'm like, I have to say something. I'm like,
What
I
was
can't.
Yeah, what was it about the stuff that you looked at the first time that kind of made you go, wait a second, there's something new here?
So first of all, it was information I had never heard of.
Okay.
And one of them was a video from a young lady who had talked about, she has a YouTube channel, and she went to her, just confessed. She's like, "Hey, I've been vegan for 5 years, and these are all the problems that I'm facing, and I am no longer going to be vegan."
Yeah.
And she listed off some of the things that she was experiencing, and lo and behold, I was experiencing a whole bunch of them. So
Okay.
I'm like, second, this can't be a coincidence.
Yeah.
I just thought, older, and I was just ignoring some of the signs. And so I'm like, okay, it's only been like 2 years and some change, and she's been doing it for over 5 years. So in my mind, I'm like, 3 more years, what's going to happen to me?
Right. Right.
So that's when, and then obviously I started reading some of the articles and some of the other things, and I was like, the science behind it, the research behind it, I was like, I'm in trouble. And so I decided to put myself on the 30-day challenge.
Okay. And then what did that challenge look like? How did you just jump right into it, or did you kind of wean into it? Like, how are you doing this?
So for the most part, I jumped right into it.
Okay.
The first few weeks, my body
That must have been
still was,
rough. Your body was like, ah.
yeah, my body was still craving the fruits and the vegetables, because I would juice a lot.
Okay.
And so I still, once or twice a week, I still would, get juice, but I still was eating predominantly, meat, fish,
Okay.
beef, fish, eggs, and things like that. But my body was still craving the juice. Eventually, that all went away, and so now it's predominantly. I still do potatoes sometimes, but for the most part, it's meat.
Okay. And so it's been about a month and a half, and you're feeling pretty good. Like, what's the change? What's the difference?
Yeah, definitely a lot more energy.
Okay.
I've been working out every day since I started.
Yeah.
For the last, I don't even know how long I've been, wanting to start back working out and wanting to go to the gym. I just didn't have the energy.
Okay.
And so, I have way more energy. My mental clarity is a lot sound compared to before. I was starting to lose memory. I was forgetting stuff. I wasn't as sharp. My eyesight started getting bad, and I didn't wear glasses or anything. I just knew it was a day where I was going to have to go to and get my eyes checked and have that conversation that I didn't want to have.
Right.
Now
Hey,
it seems
I know
like
what you're talking about. I'm probably a little older than you though, so I'm 50. How old are you?
I'm 41.
Okay, all right, a little bit.
And so, but the funny thing is, my sight has kind of reversed. It's a lot better than it was. And my brain, mental function,
Mhm.
capacity, all that has kind of slowly started to sharpen and come back. So, I'm feeling good.
Good. That's fantastic. So tell me about the exercise and the working out. You just didn't have energy to do any of that kind of stuff? Are you feeling like your workouts are actually okay now? Or are you feeling like you're struggling through them? What's the process there like?
Yeah. So, yeah, before I just didn't have the energy. I didn't have the drive. It was just like blah, you know?
Mhm.
Um, Mentally, I would say, I want to do it, but it just couldn't happen. And so,
Yeah.
but now, yeah, I just have a lot more energy, a lot more drive. And when I work out, the fatigue factor, that's not as prominent as it was before. And so I just go, 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 go.
Man, that's awesome. Okay. Now, how is it in the community so you're now entered into the keto carnivore community. Do you consider yourself still to be part of the vegan or plant-based community? Have they kicked you out? Like, what's been the response and the feedback, and how is that all? How are you handling all that?
Yeah, so I never was like 100% like full-fledged into the community. I wasn't a part of any like major groups or anything like
Mhm.
that. Although I was trying to break into it. And so, yeah, I've lost a few followers, and yeah, people called me all types of names and stuff like that. But I mean, I, I'm at the point in my life, and I've been this way for some time now, where like I don't really go off of how people feel and what they think. I go off of
Mhm.
what I know is right, how I feel, what I think I need to do, and
Yeah.
what I think is right for other people, right? And so when I knew I was in trouble, and when I knew I had to make the announcement and say, "Listen, I've been wrong about some things," that's just my personality.
Mhm.
And so um, the carnivore community has been wonderful. They've been very supportive. um, I've undeleted or unblocked a few people. Uh,
Oh, you're
yeah,
not so bad. I get it. Yeah,
right.
I mean, we all get so passionate about the things that we're doing, and a lot of people tend to build their identity around the way that they eat. And so when someone attacks the way that they eat, then it feels like it's a personal attack on them. And not a lot of people, and I'm sure, it was something that I went through early on, and I'm sure your initial response when all these people were messaging you was like, put the wall up and be defensive and be like, what are y'all talking about? But kudos to you for taking a second and actually looking into it and saying, well, maybe there's something here. I'll take a look at it, and then being open to changing your mind. I mean, that says a lot about you as a person. Not a lot of people are able to do that. Um, where do you go from here? Like, I definitely want to keep tabs on you and keep talking with you and keep in touch and see how your journey goes. But I think you've got the experience that you've got. I've heard of a lot of people that were plant based that made the switch, but I've never had an opportunity actually to be there and kind of watch somebody go through the process. So it was kind of cool to see, and I guess it was Dr. Baker's first, I guess it was the second one that he posted about you when you did your first, hey, I'm going to try this and see what happens. Right. And then I was like, oh, wait, there's somebody who's making a switch. Let me follow this guy and see what happens. Where do you go from here?
Well, the biggest thing for me, I have a passion for helping others. I have a passion for, when you see how much and how many people are sick and diseased and unhealthy, you realize that it's a lot of work to be done, right? And
Yep.
so, I've always had a passion for people, helping people, and so I'm just taking what I was already doing and just kind of, repackaging it, if you want to call it that, and
Okay.
just being a proponent for health and being a proponent for the right nutrients. And so I recently wrote a guide called "How to Instantly Improve Your Health,"
Oh, awesome.
uh,
Okay.
and it was basically everything that I've been learning for the last 30 days repackaged or packaged,
Hmm.
uh, and a little bit of you know what I learned from the plant-based community, because, plants can help you, detox and pull some of, because a lot of people are into processed foods, right? And so a lot of that junk just sits there. And you think that, you're going, when you go to the bathroom, that you're getting some of that stuff out, but a lot of it just sits there. And so, incorporating a little bit of that into my guide, but the majority of it is about the science and the common sense practicality of nutrients and in the body.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, no, send me that info. We'll make sure that goes in the description when I post this video. So,
Okay.
where can people find you? I know you have Instagram. Do you have a website or anything, any other places people can find you?
Yeah. So my Instagram is Kevin the Visionary One, and my website is kevinthevisionary1.com.
Okay.
And so you can find me there, and you can also find my guide on that website also.
Yeah. Fantastic, man. Hey, I appreciate it. It's been fantastic watching you go through this, and I look forward to seeing where you end up.
Yes, sir. Right. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you taking the time out.
Hey, absolutely, man. I'm glad you can be here. All right, let's close.